What's going on, guys? So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that we finally got the 6WB cluster working. Now I'm gonna have a video on that pretty soon. Just after spending so much time and energy on that project, I didn't want to just rush a video just to get something up there. I really want to take my time with this and make the best video that I possibly can. Now stick around to the end of this video. I will explain what the solution was for those who are curious, but in the meantime, we have a set of magnetic paddle shifters. Now these have been popping up a lot recently on Instagram. I guess they use these for like racing simulations, and now they make them for cars. So let's unbox these. I'll show you what they do, and we'll put them in the car. Checking out the contents of the box, you have your paddle assemblies. It also includes two smaller ones if those are more your style. You've got some hardware there, and then it comes with an Allen wrench for changing out the paddle shifters. As you can see, I went with the matte carbon to match the rest of my interior, but they make these in aluminum as well. So just taking these out of the box, these are super high quality. This whole hinge mechanism is anodized aluminum. Obviously real carbon fiber here, and if you're wondering what a magnetic paddle shifter does or why you would want it, it's got this magnet so that when you shift gears, it has a satisfying tactile click. Unlike the stock BMW ones, which are just really mushy, they don't really give you any feedback at all. This, I could do that all day. So to install these, you don't need to take the steering wheel completely out of the car, but you do need to remove the airbag. So let's disconnect the battery. I'll show you how to do that, and we'll put these in. So having removed the steering wheel several times in this car, I find that the blunt tip of an Allen wrench is like the perfect tool for unclipping the airbag. So on the back side, on the bottom of the wheel, there are two holes, and when you put the Allen wrench in, you're going to feel sort of a springy resistance, and as you push in, you can kind of pry out on the airbag and it'll just pop out. Unclip the airbag from the harness and set it aside. So taking a look inside the steering wheel, you can see my Allen wrench here, and if I press in, you'll see that pin move in, and there's one of those on each side and the airbag will pop right out. To give myself more room, I'm taking off this trim piece, which is held in with 3 T20 Torx screws. The third screw is on the bottom of the wheel on the back side. So then these screws here are going to be the ones for the paddle shifters. Now if you're wondering what these M1 and M2 buttons are, those I actually installed. Those connect to the drive mode, so you can switch between like sport and comfort right from the steering wheel. I've got a video on that, I'll link down below, but that's what some of these extra wires are, just in case you're wondering. Your car probably won't have that. But let's go ahead and take the paddles out. Remove the T20 screw from each paddle shifter and unplug them from their harnesses. Ouch. The wiring harnesses for the paddles are a pain. Literally just had a pick tool go through my thumb. So here's your standard paddle shifter module. You can see just plastic and not a whole lot of feedback there.
This is springy and spongy.
And here is the new Madtrace. Use the included hardware to install the new paddles. These screws have a different thread pitch than the stock ones, so don't try to force the original screws back in. Reinstall the trim cover. The silver screws go on the inside and the black screw goes on the outside. Secure the airbag harness and press the airbag in place. Sometimes it's the smallest modifications that make the biggest difference. Not only do you get that satisfying click when you shift gears, but the hinge itself feels more substantial than the stock BMW ones, which just use a plastic pin. The installation was simple and took under an hour. They're 100% plug and play and don't require any coding. When installed in the car, the click is audible but not annoyingly so. I love subtle mods like these that are straightforward to install yet elevate the driving experience. While the matte carbon is cool, I almost wish I chose the aluminum just to add some contrast to the interior. The paddles are interchangeable from the outside, meaning that you can swap them out without needing to take the steering wheel apart. I find it funny that these cars are sophisticated almost beyond comprehension, yet every time you disconnect the battery you still have to reset the date and time. Like, really? So, about the 6WB cluster, if you watched my last video where I was having all the issues, I concluded with realizing that I needed a 3-way fiber optic cable. So in case you're not familiar with that, F30s have a fiber optic network where a lot of the components in the car are connected through this fiber optic loop. And unlike electrical wires, you can't just tap into it. Basically everything that's in that network needs to have its own individual plug. That's when I realized that I needed the 3-way connector. So I ordered one on eBay. Said that it was going to be here on a Monday. I got a confirmation and everything. I get an email Sunday night at around 7 p.m. that the seller canceled my order because there was an issue with my address, which there wasn't because I order from eBay all the time. There's never an issue. I replied back right away within like 60 seconds of getting their email. I was like, hey, what's going on here? Never heard from them. So I found another seller, and it's kind of hard to find these things. It's like you can't just walk into AutoZone and buy one of these cables. Are kind of like an obscure part. But I found another seller on eBay who had one, got one within a week, and plugged it in, and we were pretty much good to go. It still wasn't initially coming up on the Pro Tool app, so I had Isaac from Gamer Geeks log in remotely. So it turned out that all we had to do was refresh the FEM module, and then he was able to see the 6WB in there and he could finish the coding. And that's all there was to it. Like I said, look forward to a video on this very soon. It's going to be the most in-depth video on the 6WB, I hope. So look forward to that in the future, and then also the links for the paddle shifters will be down below. Kies Motorsports, thank you so much for sending these to me. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more videos just like this, and I will see you in the next one.